And all that happened here is they boated in at night several thousand Al-Qaeda with MI6 commanders, and they started blowing up high-rise buildings, rocket attacking police stations, attacking apartment buildings to create fear in the general public. Now, this is a special forces tactic. The Russians admittedly had a plan for this. The United States had a plan with the NATO stay-behind networks known as Gladio. And what you do is you have special forces that are either inserted or deep cover operatives, and one person, a real terrorist, can go dump chlorine gas into the air conditioning system of a high-rise building, kill 10,000 people. And I'm not letting secrets out here. This is all well known. One or two operatives can burn down 5 or 6 skyscrapers with timers. All you do is truck gasoline up into them. A 20-person team could have Austin looking like World War III in 1 hour. Okay? The Russians have these systems. The Chinese, admittedly, have more than 20,000, that's come out in congressional reports, stay-behind operatives. They're running grocery stores. They're working at factories. I mean, they've got saboteurs everywhere. And the United States and private corporations, they have saboteurs everywhere. Now, the U.S. has saboteurs inside the U.S. They've got 5,000 Iraqis they brought in and sheep-dipped. That came out in the L.A. Times in 2003. They've also got the other system, Infraguard, which are over 100,000 executives who have shoot-to-kill orders of their employees if they don't follow orders during martial law. And you've got all these guys on power trips with their gun in their desk and their little FBI security card. And if a lot of these idiots, if they're told blow up the chemical plant, they'll do it. I mean, folks, we are so riddled with saboteurs it'll make your head spin. And it's not, but side issue. The point is they put in reportedly a couple thousand operatives, and they just started randomly blowing things up, killing thousands of civilians, total bedlam, a special forces destabilization operation, so that Gaddafi's forces started running in every direction trying to fight him. Then they made their way towards government buildings and towards the gold hoard under the Gaddafi ministerial buildings. They want that 144 tons of gold to give it to the rebels, so they can then later set up a new Al-Qaeda base, and then the public will remember in 2 to 5 years that it was all staged, and we'll have to go into Tripoli again. Again, they don't want an industrialized first world nation. That's what this is all about. So they want to get the civil war going and then have NATO sit back, just controlling Tripoli and some of the key ports and oil production facilities. So all of that's going on. Now, we've heard in the last 6 months, 8 different times, I went and looked up the State Department numbers, 8 different times, even before 4.5 months ago when NATO officially got involved. We've heard at least 8 times that Gaddafi's been killed or captured, or his sons have, or that he fled the country. And Obama said this will last days, not weeks. So now 4.5 months is days, not weeks, okay? And again, it's not a war, it's a kinetic action. They talk to you like you're complete and utter morons. They come out and tell you the Constitution is over and a bad thing. CNN last night was saying there's no such thing as a war powers anymore. Congress can't get that power back. It now resides with the president. I mean, they're just stating high treason everywhere. This isn't a war. We don't need Congress. We don't need Congress for war, taxes. I mean, they're just in your face. And then they said all his sons are captured and killed, 100%. And then now it's come out today, here's Time Magazine, as Saif al-Islam Gaddafi turns up, free, confusion reigns in Libya. And it comes out that there's battles all over Tripoli with the dug-in special forces. Now, when I come back, I'm going to give you the key to all of this and what is about to happen. Okay? I'm going to break it down on the other side, but we've got other articles at Infowars.com. Libya, NATO PSYOP collapses. Gaddafi prevails again. NATO prepares humanitarian occupation of Libya. Stay with us. Well, we're seeing the humanitarian bloodletting. Much of Tripoli is on fire day and night. Citizens are being slaughtered and indiscriminately killed by terror squads and death squads. Of course, coming up when Paul Joseph Watson joins us, we have a reported audio, but who knows if it's been staged, of one of Gaddafi's sons, Mohammed Gaddafi, being captured by rebels. But we've seen so much fake reportage, we don't know what's true. Just like we've been told that all of the sons were captured, but now we know that that's not the case. Libyan rebels capture Gaddafi's Tripoli compound. AFP is reporting right now, and it is confirmed that U.S., British, and other NATO forces are in there commanding the rebels and basically leading assaults. So in the next few months, you'll hear about lots of troop transport planes that crash in the U.S., in Europe, and they'll just tack the numbers of dead onto that, even though their bodies will already be sitting on ice in morgues at military bases. And we've confirmed that a lot of U.S. troops have already died over there. It's now more than 50 in the last 4.5 months of the non-war. But again, you'll just be told later that they died in automobile accidents and plane crashes. I've talked directly to the people at the military bases. Now, continuing here, what's the big issue? Why did they do this? Because even if they can't fully take Tripoli, NATO, and their Al-Qaeda forces, these are admitted Al-Qaeda. Here's the LA Times on it. Libyan rebels story shows links to Taliban, Al-Qaeda, NATO. Oh, really? Wow. I mean, it's admitted that all the leaders of the rebel groups are Al-Qaeda and being shipped in. By the way, it's official. I've got an article. Sharia law is to be put into place there. Women, you're going to start wearing the burqas. Same thing in Egypt, same thing in Iraq. They put the Muslim extremist in everywhere. That's who the West wants in power. That's why they created Al-Qaeda. Then they can also then use that threat to take our liberties. It works like a charm. See, the globalists are attacking America and the Muslims. But we're thinking, oh, America's fighting Muslims. You've got to get into the globalist mindset of total war against all institutions and civilization and the nation state. They want to wreck societies. So here's what's going to happen. Gaddafi will either be captured or killed soon, or they are going to send in U.S., British, and other troops under the umbrella of NATO and the UN, and the further scorched earth terror operations and slaughter meant to scare the population into submission. NATO admittedly is dropping these giant sonic bombs that shake the ground and just cause, you know, ear-splitting noises. Just like at Waco, playing the sounds of dead and dying rabbits with monks chanting. It's psychological. Just so everybody's being attacked from every side, they don't know what's going on. Then they announce, yes, we've got Gaddafi, we've got his sons, we've won. They've announced that over and over again. Then the rebels call for the foreign occupiers. They're the official government, we're told. And this can happen anywhere. They can have uprisings, and then the UN and the globalists recognize it. You're going to end up in the future having uprisings in the Southwest of illegals that have been taught this is Mexico, and you're going to see our government recognize them and break off part of the Southwest to be part of an autonomous UN-run enclave. That's on the board in the North American Union SPP plans. They merge the three countries, Canada, the U.S., and Mexico, but then break up separate ethnic enclaves. Just like in Canada, the globalists have tried to break it up with the French in the East. And I'm not getting in the middle of French separatists. At the end of the day, I could care less. The point is that that's what the globalists are up to. Now, continuing here, you're going to see now what we talked about in September, October, the U.S. forces going in. If Gaddafi would have fully repelled this attack, they would have still gone in. But now, because it looks like, from what I've seen, that it's a fluid situation, Gaddafi has not had a very strong response to this. The hoax is running that he's already been defeated. That hasn't happened. But the fact that they've been able to insert these special forces, they've got Apaches in there attacking any of his troops that try to repulse the Al-Qaeda heroes, according to our media, that they're just going to continue burning the city until everything's destroyed. And then that'll make the banks even happier because then they can come in and obviously loan them more fiat currency and make them debt slaves. So that's what's happening there. But you are seeing the Nobel Peace Laureate bring absolute death and destruction and put Al-Qaeda in. And then, of course, they're going to then use Libya as a base to start attacking Europe and the United States, and then that'll be used to take our freedoms. We're seeing the Western-run Al-Qaeda groups engaging in mass murder, looting, and humanitarian atrocities. And we're seeing the official PSYOP that Tripoli totally fell yesterday falling apart. And we've got excellent articles at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com by Paul Watson, Tony Cardalucci, and others. Libya, NATO, PSYOP collapses, Gaddafi prevails again. But you notice the rebels are going after the gold hoards and claim that they've taken the compound where reportedly the gold is buried. So they want that 144 tons of gold. At the end of the day, this is also about looting. They've got to make sure that that money never gets to the government or the people of Libya, and it will just disappear into a black hole, just like the tens of tons under the World Trade Center, and there'll be no discussion about it. Absolutely no discussion about it. Now, I wanted to play a clip for you here of one of Gaddafi's sons. Reportedly yesterday, this is Mohammed Gaddafi in his home doing a radio/TV interview when the Al-Qaeda forces attack. Libyan conflict. Gaddafi's son captured live on television. While speaking live on television, Colonel Gaddafi's son, Mohammedi, is attacked and captured, or Mohammed is attacked and captured by Libyan rebels as they enter his home in Tripoli. He was giving a phone interview with Al Jazeera television, confirming that he was under house arrest when shots suddenly rang out in the background as Libyan rebels stormed his home. I am being attacked right now, the dictator's son said while on the air. This is gunfire inside my house. They are inside my house. Of course, I mean, Al Jazeera is publicly run by British intelligence, so immediately once he tried to contact the world, they were able to sick the special ops on him. You can clearly hear Muhammad repeating, "There is no God but Allah," before the line went dead, later confirming that Muhammad Gaddafi had been captured by the rebels. The head of Libya's National Transitional Council said that he was unhurt in the incident. This is so sick. We're going to Paul Watson here in a moment and then Webster Tarpley, but I wanted to play this powerful clip. But again, we don't know if it's true because now it's reported as Saif al-Islam Gaddafi turns up free. Confusion reigns in Libya. Fresh fighting erupted in Tripoli today, hours after Muammar Gaddafi's son turned up free to thwart Libyan rebels. Claims he had been captured, a move that seems to have energized forces still loyal to the embattled regime. And Gaddafi has put out new messages saying he's never going to give up, that he's going to go down with the ship. And he says this is foreign occupation, Libyans resist. Let's go ahead and go to this clip. Here it is.
However, I can tell you the absence of wisdom and foresight is what brought us here today. Our differences could have been solved very easily. I'm being attacked right now. This is gunfire inside my house. They're inside my house. There's no God but Allah. No God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger.
Well, there you go. There is the liberation of the 144 tons of gold, the liberation of thousands of people's lives, the carpet bombing of Tripoli and other cities, their entire infrastructure being decimated, huge areas going up in flame, U.S., British, other European troops literally commanding brigades of people who were in Iraq as short a time as just a year ago. People who brag in the news. You can just pull up Al-Qaeda, Libyan rebels, brag of killing Americans. And they're like, yes, we hate Americans, but we hate Gaddafi more. I will go back to killing Americans later, but now I kill Gaddafi. I mean, this is how sick the bankers are.